Okay, so my two favorite pairs for this week are USDCAD and GBPUSD. So I'm just going to go through the markup for both of those pairs. Here we have USDCAD. I'm going to mark off my swing highs and my swing lows on the monthly. And then drop down to the next time frame, which would be the weekly, and look for the most significant trend. So what I see would be an uptrend here. So I'll go ahead and mark that off. And you basically just want to look to box in price as much as you can. My mouse doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, so then drop down to the daily. I always like to zoom out just so that I can see kind of the overall picture. I do see right here is a low, so I'm gonna go ahead and just mark that off for myself. And then I also see kind of an area of resistance right there as well. So as you're going, if you see areas that price kind of bounces off of, you can always mark those off too. And then here, so this would be a high. And then also here, price seems to, so those are areas where price hasn't touched and needs to kind of fill back in. So on my daily, I do see a little bit of a downtrend there. So I'll box that in. Now for learning purposes, I'm going to go ahead just so it's not as busy. I just wanted to be able to show how to identify other highs and lows. Go down to the 4-hour. And again, we're just looking to box in price. So I do see a pretty significant uptrend right there. And honestly, if we look here, this realistically could be our impulse and a flag there. You also see here where there was an impulse and then a descending channel that formed, which indicated that price was going to reverse at that area. It then shot up, gave us our correction, another impulse, and then now we have this ascending channel that we've been watching. Now again, what I see here that I really want to point out is this area that price struggles to break. So I would be looking for price to potentially reverse there. Now, with us being on the higher time frame, we don't know when that could happen. Think about every single one of these candles being 4 hours. So we want to drop down to our next time frame. So we see that price kind of broke into that area, and now it's starting to reverse back down. And if you drop down to the lower time frame, we have an impulse. We have a correction happening. So realistically, this could push up and test that high before it makes its drop. Now, we know that we're looking for a drop because the ascending channel is happening. But it's more so when that drop is going to happen. So we'll drop down to our next time frame, which is the 15-minute, and see if we see anything else that sticks out. And as of right now, I think we're just going to have to wait for the market to open on Sunday to see what actually happens there. So we'll go to the next pair that I'm looking at, which is GBPUSD. So again, you want to look for your swing highs and swing lows. Now for me, typically I would just mark off here, but because I see that price has come to this area and then kind of push through, so we have some liquidity there. So I'm just going to mark that off just for my eyes. Now, as a beginner, you're not going to see those things. I'm going to mark this off as our most recent high. And why didn't I do this? This was all the way back in 2018, but I am going to mark that just because I see that it kind of came to that area. So there is some liquidity trapped up there. We'll drop down to our weekly and identify the most recent trend, which for me would be an uptrend. Now this is last week's candle, so that's closed. It's a pretty strong impulse, so we could be looking, because we're up in this high, we're pretty much looking for a sell, but we want to drop down to the next time frame to confirm that that's going to happen. Just going to clean up this trend line. Now, we see that every time price comes to this trend line area, it rejects. So we really want to watch what price is going to do here. We want to see if it's going to break through, or if we think it's going to come up and retest this high and then ultimately drop. So I am going to box in this. So we'll drop down to our 4 hour. And I see, just because my eyes are trained for this more, I do see a descending channel happening. So right now my bias is that price is going to reverse and at least push back up to here, which is still 230 pips. So let's drop down to our next time frame, our 1 hour. So again, we have our impulse down. If it were going to continue dropping, we would get a pullback, we would get a flag. So because price didn't pull back and then continue down, instead starting to make this reversal pattern. So it's starting to make a descending channel. So my bias, again, is that we're looking for it to buy back up before it actually breaks through. Now, you still want to continue dropping down because we want to look at our entry. So we see the descending channel here. And what is sticking out to me is we have a reversal pattern within a reversal pattern. So within this descending channel, I see an impulse. And then I see another descending channel happening. So again, I'm looking for this to buy back up to at least the top of the descending channel that's already being created. It could potentially pull back down and then reverse, or it could just break through here give us our pullback and then break to the upside. So essentially we just want to watch what price is going to do when it gets to this area, especially right in this area. And then again, watch price there. And I'll show you that on the 15-minute. So we have, we have the descending channel there. We have a descending channel here. So patterns can happen within other patterns. So those are the two pairs that I'm looking at for this week. There may be some additional, but I just wanted to share my markups for those two.